Hello, and welcome to episode 69 of Philo. Nice. That's an internet number. I am Amber Greenlee. We have a special guest today, Steve Troop. I'm going to introduce my co-host and better half. This is...
So you were going to introduce Steve first?
No, this is Robin Fisher. No, I always want to... I always want to introduce Robin first, and she knows way more about comics than I do, and knows how to talk like toys and art and stuff when I'm like trying to figure out how to draw a bird. And so
looking for a brush.
Our special guest today is Steve Troop. Steve Troop is a puppet builder and artist and comic artist and puppeteer. I will also say voice actor because you have done many of your own puppets.
A little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, you know, played your own thing and stuff. Lives out in LA artist, and yeah. Hey Steve, long time no see, says Tangent.
Hey Tangent.
And so yes, so we shall start with the recap of the story, and let me put that in the big window. Where we left off was with the tentacle pieces cut off of Armand being infected by the venom powers of olive oil, and it's okay because Little Shroom and Dog were using Little Shroom's spore powers to save Armand and make him better and regrow his tentacles somehow. And so that's like directly where we left off. I have like, you know, I actually uploaded more. You know, there was a can dance number. We had J. Jonah Jameson. I can't ever like.
I know it's the Stanley alliteration. He loves that.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, Stanley was always about alliteration with characters in the Marvel universe. But yes, the space J. Jonah Jameson going, I'll get you Spider-Whale with his origin, and then we continued. Hi, Kay. We continued with Spider-Whale, Shark, you know, having the obituary for, you know, Uncle Ben, and then Symbiote's got a symbiote, so Philo becomes a Venom, and that Venom happens to be olive oil. And so when they fight, that's when Armand gets injured, which, of course, Spider-Whale Shark regrets. We have tiny little olive oils taking the severed tentacles to go feed pirates, and that was before, of course, they got infected by those olive oils and turned into olive oils of their own. And so, yes. So, do you want to take first panel? Do you want me to take first panel?
I'll take first panel. I'm still getting my setup a little bit, but just give me a second. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just tell me where, how I forget how we get started. Do we get, we discuss it, right?
Well, yeah. It basically depends on what the audience wants to do and what, you know, the story kind of lends itself to wanting to do and stuff. So Tangent says hi. Kay says hi. We got a few people in chat right now. And
I was gonna throw this out there. I just rewatched Lucy, and at the end she turns into a giant black inky computer, and it made me think of olive oil ink when I was watching it.
Nice.
Just an idea.
I haven't seen Lucy yet. I know it's Scarlett Johansson, and it like she takes like a drug or something that makes her.
Yeah, it's a Luc Besson movie where he's trying to meditate on, are we really living up to our full potential? It's probably one of his worst movies ever. I think Scarlett Johansson kind of saves the movie with her weird wooden performance.
I has puppy, says Rob, by the way.
Oh, hi. Whoa, a puppy. That's pretty exciting.
Yes.
Is that dog number 3?
This is Rob.
In the house?
Rob.
Oh, his dog passed a couple of months ago, right, or weeks ago.
Yeah, he lost a dog, and this is new doggo. This is Artemis, and Artemis is good doggo. Is little German Shepherd.
Nice.
And yes, and so
congratulations on your new puppy.
So where we left off in the story, Dog and Little Shroom are transforming Armand, and I've named this episode Across the Philo-verse because I don't even know if we're still in Escher space.
Perfect.
Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea, Kay.
All of the olive oil tentacles start up-chunking ink, so the layout turns very black with highlights. I think that is your panel. I think that is your panel.
Sounds great.
Magic Marmot says that the puppy was an emergency rescue, and of course, is a snuggle demon. That goes without saying.
Yes, as snuggle demons should be. I mean, I shouldn't say that emergency rescues should be snuggle demons, but snuggle demons should come out of emergency rescues.
They tend to be pretty grateful for the most part. I mean, depending on how much trauma they're living through, especially when they're puppies, I would imagine they're kind of resilient.
Yes. Yes, so all of the olive oil tentacles start up-chunking ink, so the layout turns very black with highlights. I think tentacles start up-chunking ink is just your
new caption.
Your caption. So, okay, so what happens after they start up-chucking ink, then?
I think that the ink that they're up-chucking turns into a giant computer. Or the ink that they're up-chucking takes over one of the pirate ship's computers. And she's infiltrated the system.
Ooh. So you're thinking like kind of Matrix takeover? Almost like a Borg.
That sounds cool.
Like she's like a Borg queen.
Just to clarify, these olive oil tentacles, are they in space or are they on the ground? Where were they again?
They're floating.
They're floating in space or just floating?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're hanging around. They can fly.
The buffet pirates, we are saying, are in space. Okay. That space may or may not be Escher like universe.
Gotcha.
So, but like the yacht was in space, and so their ship was in space. So I assume that like gravity is optional.
Gotcha.
You
okay.
know,
I was able to call up the page so I can see.
Yes.
Great. Fantastic. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Fights olive oil. Let's see. You want them to fight olive oil? You want the little ones to fight olive oil for dominance? Is that what happened?
Well, maybe the original plan is olive oil wants to take over the machinery of the ship so she can take over the ship. But then the olive oil tentacles that have branched off are sentient, and that's not what they want. They want something else entirely different. Maybe they just want to eat from the buffet.
So Ian adds...
So that would be why they would fight each other.
The pirates are covered in oil and unable to stand up, and they run away to their ship. So he wants them to all be slicked by the oil that's coughed up. Slither back to their ship. Yeah, okay. I could do that. We could do that. We could do let's see. It makes for a slippery deck. As they try to slither back to their ship. Because I like the word slither. That's a good word. Slither's a fun word. There's I don't know. Like, language is fun. Sometimes I pick up poetry books and I read them and I'm just amazed by what people can do with language. I don't know. Any good comics this week?
Well, I'm halfway through the latest Joe, or the last Joe Matt, I should say. Sadly, the very last Joe Matt to ever come out. And yeah, it's exciting. I managed to get a hold of the new Alison Bechdel, and then I didn't realize she had another book prior to that. So I got that as well, but they haven't arrived yet. But apparently there's going to be some dykes to watch out for characters in her new book. It's called Spent. And one of my friends pointed out, and this is why I ended up rereading reading the new Joe Matt and rereading the old Joe Matt, is because Joe Matt, one of Joe Matt's last collection of his comics was called Spent. So you have the two of the same titles, and one is like about Alison Bechdel and her, healthy lesbian lifestyle, and the other's about a white American dude who loves to jerk off to porn.
Yep.
I thought that was so funny. So his joke was like, "Stay tuned for The Watchmen" by Julie Doucet. I thought that was really good.
Like we had Randall Drew on a couple weeks ago, and he got to see her talk about her latest book come out in Vermont, and talking about like how going into playwriting and stuff kind of protected her from a lot of the politics in the comics industry, because playwriting, the theater is so much more open to women working in theater. It was an interesting talk that she was having. Like he'd be able to talk more about it than me, but he was telling me about it. Yeah. Let's see. Fight tell of oil. The pirates are covered in oil. Let's see, or rather slither back to the ships. Oh, each tentacle does have its own brain or brains. Perhaps they fight the olive invasion. We end up with an ink versus ink battle. I think that might be what's happening in panel 3.
Is it going to be just a black panel though? If it's an ink versus ink battle,
you can do that.
We can do eyes.
And the clever highlights on the edges of them to kind of make up with it. I specialize in that, so I can take that. Note the painstakingly inked dramatic lighting effects.
I know it's not quite as painstakingly inked anymore if you're using digital and you're just using white. Yeah. Struggle swishes.
The last time I saw that effect used recently was a kid's book, Goodnight Gorilla. I don't know if you've ever read that.
No.
It's a good one. She actually it was her assignment in a child, I don't know if it was child education class or a child illustration class, but it was her final assignment, and it was so good that it's sold millions of copies. But it's a silent book, and I've got like the giant hardcover version of it, right? And it's just about a zookeeper, and he's saying goodnight to all the creatures in the zoo, but what he doesn't realize is the gorilla's behind him with the keys, and he's unlocking the doors and letting every single animal out. And every animal is following the zookeeper as he says goodnight, and they follow him into his house. And then his wife says, "Goodnight, dear." And all of a sudden in the dark room, she hears goodnight, 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 goodnight. And then all of a sudden you see her big white eyes on the black panel and nothing else. And she's like, why are there so many people saying goodnight to me? Like, you're assuming that's what she's thinking because it's a mostly silent book, right? Mm-hmm. So she turns on the light and sees all the animals in the house, in the bed, and under the covers. And she takes them all back to the zoo and locks them all back up. And as she's coming out of the zoo, she does not realize that the gorilla is following her, and he follows her back into bed. Good night, gorilla. It's quite adorable.
I'm gonna be giving Armand like a religious moment here, as his tentacles are growing back.
This is vomiting ink. That's awesome.
That's what I was supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
All of my panels always have the Popeye characters. It seems like I dominated with Pluto. I came up with like 9 reasons for him to come back in the last one I did. So.
It's kind of funny because we haven't really done Popeye in a long time. You seem to be coming at the right time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do like black amorphous like figures.
Yeah, I'm doing a few in the background here.
You're getting praise from the crowd. Yes, excellency. The occasional hand or foot popping out. Yeah.
Magic Marmot says noise.
Yeah, and I think we're just gonna have like an oil slick down here. Yeah, Steve's drawing's better than mine. He's been doing it longer.
Well, you gave me one that I could shine in. It accentuates my best drawing ability. Vomit.
Yeah.
And also.
Yeah. Yeah. Vomiting ink onto canvas could be the new Jackson Pollock TikTok craze, says Rob. And then Kay says she just lined up to invest in the Sailor's Tarot, starring Popeye-ish and olive oil-ish figures in a la 1930s cartoon. I wonder if they're going to have the whole Thimble Theater gang.
Oh, I don't know. Are they done in the style of Thimble Theater?
Well, they don't have to do ish anymore because I thought Popeye is now part of the common domain or whatever.
Public domain.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be ish anymore. It can be actual. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, they could do they could also do Jeep.
Oh,
and
yeah. Actually, I don't know if you saw Phil Fletcher's Popeye puppet that he made a couple weeks ago, but I'm dying to make Eugene the Jeep puppet now.
Oh. Well, I mean, speaking of which, you're going to show Zoidberg on the show.
Yeah, you're right next to me, actually.
Yeah, you're showing Zoidberg. You can show him right now. I will give you the big screen if you want.
Right. But yeah.
Yes, because this is amazing. Look at this. Okay? Look what happens with the fingers. Look where the fingers go.
Perfect.
Is that not an amazing design?
Oh, that's awesome.
Like he's got the focus with the eyes perfect, and I mean you got the magic triangle like perfect.
Yeah,
and
still managed to get that weird draining like vacant stare as well. So you can look.
Yes.
My thing is the weariness. You seem to have captured his weariness very well.
Yes. I still think that like those dinosaur claw or dinosaur opener kind of
the next version of it. I actually did spend about 4 hours trying to figure out how to make opening claws, but I figured I'd rather just get them done rather than worry about it.
Well, again, like what I would probably do is I would co-op one of those like dinosaur toys with the trigger.
The biggest problem is just they go the wrong way. They have to be this way, and I couldn't figure out how to turn it.
Yeah, but that's just it. It would be like this. You're holding it like this, right? So instead of holding it like this, you're holding it like this, like a gun.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And so you would only be able to operate one claw at a time, doing it that way. But or maybe you can reverse engineer the tech. I don't know.
But it sure was wonderful.
Yes.
I have one of those right here.
Oh, let me put you back in the. Oh, we have a cat.
Off her line. Oh, there we go. That was it.
We have a cat.
So
she hates it.
I mean, it would kind of work, but again, I'd have to figure it out. But anyway, and I also don't like the really thick rod. I was actually working on. I have a small like 1/8-inch tube that I was trying to make work, and I was like, yeah, rather than do something really experimental with this thing, I mean, it's already all experimental, like besides standard. But yeah.
Well, I mean, you were building the puppet,
right?
Like you were designing it as you were going. So
yeah,
it's not like
one of those things. Like I was, the whole reason Zoidberg exists is because I finished up one mission. The day before I was going to get eye surgery, and I'm like, what am I going to do today? And so I did that, and then ended up being like, oh, I really like this puppet. This is going to be awesome. So that's how it kind of exists.
Well, like I said, I was like, oh man, that's awesome. I'm sorry that they didn't let your post stay on some of the forums that we were
still for sale if somebody wants it. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were asking a lot for it. You know, I understand the labor.
Yeah.
But
I took it down to 14 and I still didn't get a hit. Somebody offered me 800 and I'm like, yeah. I don't know if it's worth doing 800. But,
no, that's a lot of detail you put into that face. I wouldn't.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks
go
work.
for 800.
Yeah. So we'll see. See how desperate I get, I guess. Okay, I think this thing's done.
All right. Just a sec. I'm not that far behind you.
This is awesome.
Oh, yeah. I got a little bit more time. I didn't know if you wanted to add shading or not to buy me more time.
I guess I could do shading. That's fine. That's a good idea.
I'm not drawing the best chandelier here. I'm just kind of making it up as I go along.
Yeah.
Like the mushroom's inconsistent too. Like sometimes he has eyes, sometimes he doesn't.
Well, you're kind of at the mercy of how many like you have so many different artists working. You can't really ask for too much consistency from panel to panel.
Yeah, and that's kind of one thing that I've been trying to like tell artists, and I need to add to my rules is that there's no model sheets.
Yeah.
It's like, because I have some artists go like, okay, where's the model sheet? And it's like, you just kind of have to reference previous panels and draw it your own way, and that's part of the joy of the comic is how are you going to interpret an octopus that is regenerating his tentacles.
Right.
Speaking of which, if you are almost ready for your panel, then I think we're ready. And we lost Robin for a second. She came back.
Okay. Here. I had to change my timeout to 30 minutes again because it wants to time out every minute.
No. Okay.
Give me like
that's why I said no.
Okay. Here, let me add some shading. Let me at least try and do something that's not terrible.
Yeah, easier to say. This is funny.
Well, I'm still putting my brushes away, so I don't have like all my brushes yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Like where they normally go, and I don't have all my colors yet. And
did you get a new system?
I did. My birthday was at the beginning of the month, and then Mother's Day, and I'd been working off the same system for about 8 years.
Yeah.
And so it was starting to lag during Philo and stuff.
Right.
And like visibly so, like I would be waiting for the system to like work. And so Ian's like, okay, you've been good. Let's treat you to a new system. Right. And
That's
awesome. So I got a new system, and I try not to, I rarely buy things for myself, so it's nice to treat yourself to something nice.
Right.
And so yeah, I'll give him like glowy powers here, and then we'll have it kind of dramatically lit, I guess. There we go. You can kind of see that where they are. It's such a bad drawing. Let's see. Let me try and improve it a little bit with some gray.
I don't know that I improved mine with gray, but I put gray on it.
Yeah, I'll do. I don't know. I'm just I'm digging on my own drawing. I probably shouldn't, but just like, oh no, I can draw better than that. Why am I not drawing better than that?
All right, I'm done with mine.
Okay, I'll call this done. Okay, we'll call this done. It's sloppy, but we'll call it done.
Done enough.
Yeah. And then my my new keyboard, the K key is really sensitive, and so every time I type in K, I get 2 letters.
Uh-oh.
And so, yes, so it's interesting. Okay, so you're on panel 3. I am on panel 4.
Okay.
What happens after the crew slithers out, and I have Armand kind of regenerating tentacles.
I gotta go get my Starbucks at my front door. I'll be right back.
No worries. Let's see. Sailor's deck is basically a revamped Rider's deck. That's like why they came out with it now, but the characters resemble their inspiration. Puppets, says Rob. And then Kay gave you an exclamation point. Oh my gosh, says Rob. Use an articulated claw for claw close-ups, says says Kay. And if I had time, I'd build a rig to do that. So
yeah,
he'd help you with the rig.
Zoidberg is I didn't anticipate being doing a bunch of Zoidberg acts kind of happen. So I mean, it's a little easier. Like there's certain puppets I built that it's harder for me to say, oh, what am I doing? It's harder for me to justify getting rid of them, but because I have an idea for it, but I had no idea what to do other than the idea of that movement was
of the glove kind of idea of the fingers in
right.
the like when you were showing him when he was still foam mode.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is an amazing design. The standoff between Olive and Armand Ink. Yes. Okay.
That's the 3 is. What was I didn't
yes,
write down.
that is what you're going to be drawing is the standoff between Olive and Armand's Ink before the Ink versus Ink battle. So I would be doing the Ink versus Ink battle, I guess, and then you would be doing the start of the Ink versus Ink battle, which would be them like because Armand has his tentacles now because they've regenerated.
Okay, so the 2 inks are after each other.
I think Armand would be using his ink to attack.
Okay.
The other ink.
Okay.
Very nice.
Oh boy.
That's a good look for you.
Yeah. That wing.
A lot cooler now. I don't know when. No.
So that means that I would be doing ink on ink battle. And
ink
you would be doing Armand. Yeah, the standoff between olive oil ink and Armand's ink.
Check it out! I got this weird drink called Summer Skies. It's like coconut,
in it.
Coconut, and then like I think blackberry to make it blue, and then there's like these raspberry jelly things at the bottom. Summer Skies, apparently.
Now I got to figure out how to do an ink on ink battle.
Yeah, I know how to do that one more than I know what to do with this one. Okay.
Well, that's okay.
Armand and Olive's ink makes me think of tattoos.
So how I would do that one, Amber, is I would make a whole black screen, and I would just go in with a white pen and start putting on like the highlights and the eyes.
Well, I have an idea.
Okay.
And how I would do yours is, when Q and Guinan see each other, and they're like,
That's pretty funny.
That's how I would do yours.
Okay. All right. That's what I'm gonna do. I was thinking a whole other Star Trek reference with what was that?
That works.
What was that thing called? Remember that? The thing that killed.
What the giant space amoeba?
Sort of.
That,
the big black.
The episode that you never get to see.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Rob says that we should switch panels.
You want to do that?
We could switch panels? Okay,
I'll
yeah.
do
Then you do the ink on ink battle, and I'll do the standoff.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm doing panel 3, you're doing panel 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can do that. Let's see. Standoff between Armand and... Let's see, Armand...
Are you going to join me, Ebos? No, they're just gonna stare at me like cats always.
As cats are wont to do. Do you pick up your cat often?
No, she doesn't. She'll cuddle with me, she'll get on me, and she'll want scratches and loves, but she very rarely likes it when I hold her, but it depends on the situation. She'll suffer it sometimes. But if she can escape, she will. She likes to ricochet off my chest.
Let's see.
But she was like rescue, right? Like she was in a hoarding situation, and she's got her quirks, and it took a good 3 years for her to completely not be scared anymore.
Yeah.
Like I first realized it because sometimes when she would go upstairs, or even mostly in this house, in my old house she wasn't so much not scared, but in this house is when she runs down the hall going thump 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 thump. I'm like, okay, she's safe and happy, and I'm feeling fine, because usually she's quiet as a ninja. She can go places without making a noise. But when they start pounding down the hallways, you know that they're playing and they're secure in their environment and they feel safe. There's somebody from Facebook saying hello to Steve.
D. Pearson says, hello, Mr. Steve.
Oh, hello.
And then mind meld with this, Mr. Motherfucker, the Sam Jackson version. Yeah. And then I love the space amoeba. Yes.
What does paired mean?
Paired means that Steve has shared his channels.
Oh, okay. Cool.
With us. And so because they're going out to his channels, they're usually not going out to his channels. That's why they're paired channels.
Got it.
So we're getting comments from his channels.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's really cool.
Here, I'll do this.
Got it.
Trying to give Armand the same expression on Guinan's face. I looked up the reference. Whoopi Goldberg has taken Ozempic. She's lost a lot of weight.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Everybody's taking Ozempic. You're not alone.
Yeah, well, I
haven't seen her lately. I wasn't aware she'd lost a bunch of weight.
Let's see. And then it's the little olive oils, right?
Yeah. Just the heads on a tentacle, isn't it? That's how I drew it anyway.
Has anybody watched the new Andor yet? I have not.
I've heard good things, but I don't have Disney right now.
Oh, I'll probably illegally download it. I used to have Disney, but I'm not giving them any money anymore.
I'm glad you're getting a spotlight, Mr. Steve. You deserve this. Excited to see what you guys do here. Aw, well, thank you, Dee. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, I should draw more. I keep thinking about doing Melancholy Mondays again.
Well, you have a platform now.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
true.
and you know,
You have support.
You know, I try and like your videos when I can, and sometimes I'll be like writing a comment and then you stop streaming.
I'm sorry.
And it's like I guess he's.
I'll tell you why I stop so suddenly sometimes. Sometimes I worry about the saturation of blue that's in that room, and it's like, I just need to stop right now and let it kind of air out in here.
Yeah. And but I'll be like, oh, good, you're streaming, and then it'll be like, you know, oh, so and so stop streaming, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess.
I just got here.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Let's see. I guess I'll have him like kind of directing the tentacles.
I did get a new kind of toy-ish, but I feel kind of conflicted about it now because I got it before I ordered it before I was reading about it, and now that I've read about it, I'm like, I don't love this as much as I used to.
Why? What?
Well, remember we were talking about The Professional and Luc Besson and how creepy he is?
Yeah.
Well, I managed to get this really cool Leon statue, but I'd ordered it before I'd done all that research.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I like it, but I don't like it, you know?
You know, Will Wheaton said something about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And he said that, like, when all the stuff came out about Joss Whedon being kind of creepy and stuff like that, is he says that Buffy was there for people when they really needed it. Mm-hmm. And that, like, all the creepy stuff that Joss Whedon did doesn't negate the good that story did for the people who needed it at the time that they needed it. And you know, Harry Potter's kind of in the same way. I'm not going to support J.K. Rowling for all the awfulness that she's doing now. But if somebody has a Harry Potter tattoo, I'm not going to chastise them for having it. Because it's like, you know, I understand why.
You should go out and cover that with a Cosby tattoo.
With a Cosby tattoo? Yeah.
You know, a lot, like the books, the Harry Potter books and the Buffy. Well, the thing about Buffy too, though, is that that series was unlike any other series on TV prior to it. Yeah. I was anti-Buffy for a really long time, until I watched an episode where she went to, and like this was sequentially, so I didn't start watching till she went to university.
Yeah.
And it was an episode where she hooked up with this guy, but then he kind of like ghosted her. Yeah. And she ended up drinking this beer that turned her into a Neanderthal.
Yeah.
And I kept going, okay, if this happens, I'm going to turn it off. And it didn't happen. And I was like, oh, if this trope occurs like it always does when girl gets drunk at university, I'm turning it off. And it didn't happen. Yeah. And then at the end of the episode, the guy that ghosted her, she beat him upside the head with a 2x4. And I was like, what am I watching? This never happens on TV. Women are never given this role, you know? And I was so impressed with it that it made me an immediate convert. And then, but with the Harry Potter too, those books, like, again, I was anti-Harry Potter for the longest time. They really got popular solely because Oprah promoted it. Honestly, like, those books stand on their own, but nobody knew what those books were until Oprah started talking them up. And then every mother in the Midwest loved them. And then all of a sudden, they were huge.
The anti Harry Potter rhetoric. I remember when when people were talking about, oh, there's witchcraft in this, you don't want your kids reading it and stuff, before Oprah talked them up. And that's when I was reading them. And that's when, like, a lot of my friends and stuff were reading them, But they got notoriety around that time. And then the movie. When the first movie came out, then people were like, oh, okay, this is safe. This is a Christopher Columbus film, and it's got magic and
I always remember
Rob says Rob.
I always remember Dave Willis's cartoon with Harry Potter and Osman sitting at a bus station, and they're just sitting there next to each other, and then all of a sudden Harry Potter turns to Osman and says, "How do you get away with it?" I always thought that was funny, you know. How do you get the you with all this stuff?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting because like you have the Animorphs writer who's super supportive of trans people, and she'll wear like support trans kids t-shirts and stuff at her book signings and everything like that. And she's not making millions of dollars or anything like that. Her books aren't the best in the world, but her fan base has grown just because of her attitude. And it's interesting. I think that negativity is not ever going to make you fans.
Right.
I don't think it's ever going to sell you books. And I don't think, saying an entire group of people have no right to exist is probably one of the most negative things you can say. So it's like, why say it?
Right.
Why be mean? Why be that way? Yeah, I don't know. But then again, I think that I think that the world is a spectrum, and I think that there's people of all walks of life, and like if we're all the same, that'd be awfully boring.
Right.
And it'd be awfully like weak biologically should something come along to like wipe us all out, if we're all the same.
Right.
If like we're all different and stuff like that, then we create different immunities and different backgrounds, and we have different ideas, and we bring different perspectives to the table.
Right.
Of like, hey, what about this? Like penicillin was discovered because Ian Fleming was really, really messy.
Right.
Right.
He and hence we have the word phlegm. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
I don't know if that's why we have the word phlegm.
I'm sure
don't think so. Okay. Yeah, because it's spelled differently too.
Yeah, I know. I'm teasing you.
You're just using puns. Okay. But yeah, he was just really messy, and noticed that the mold that he let grow in his lab, some of the bacteria and stuff that he was studying were shying away from that mold. And he went, that's interesting. And we got penicillin out of that. Michael Faraday, I think, is a perfect example of if everything was done the traditional way, we wouldn't get anywhere, right? Because Michael Faraday didn't come from a rich background. He didn't come from a noble background. His entry into Oxford was sponsored. I think he even came from a blacksmith's family, and yet this guy created tempered glass and realized that there was magnetic waves, right? And all of these things that he was a multi-genius of his day, if you look at all the things that Michael Faraday discovered. But Sir Isaac Newton hated him because he wasn't from noble blood, right? And Sir Isaac Newton wanted nothing but to erase Michael Faraday from the records of Oxford, and couldn't, because Michael Faraday just contributed too much to humanity. If the moral of the story is if everything was done like through proper channels in the proper way, we wouldn't have like these inventions, like the stuff that Faraday created allowed for television later on. And gosh, I'm trying to think like what else he did. Like I said, he was one of the first guys to realize that if you took graphite and iron shavings around a magnet and then like put it on a sheet of paper and you flicked the sheet of paper, you would be able to see the magnetic field around that magnet.
Oh,
and
really?
he was he was the first guy who would then take a pen and then he would dot where all those iron shavings and stuff would go. And he was one of the first to document magnetic fields, right? And so like people would be like, oh no, there's no evidence that, you know, there's any kind of admittance from these things. And he's like, well, here's evidence that I have, right? Like I've documented this and it changes each time depending on how you flip the paper and how you arrange the magnets. And yeah, I don't know. Science is cool.
Well,
I like scientists.
You know, science has nothing to do with this channel.
Well, you don't like science?
No, I like science. Just fine, but there's nothing scientific about this panel.
No. Your panel is all darkness.
All right. Well, I think this thing is done. As good as it is.
Oh, I'm still having fun with mine. Cause now let's see. Wait. I have like inky brushes. Wait, no, that's not what I want. Yeah, I'll do this.
Okay, I'm gonna call my dad.
You're gonna call yours done? I'll do drips. There. Drips are inky. Okay, there. They're starting to fight. They're starting to fight. Okay. So that was panel 4 that you just finished.
Yeah.
I guess now I'm doing the odds, so I'm on panel 5.
Okay, on panel 6.
Yes.
Okay, so the big news in Canada right now is that the king and queen are here.
Yes, I read that. I read that you are honoring Charles and Camille, the queen consort.
Camilla,
the queen consort.
queen mistress.
Queen consort is her official title.
I don't think she deserves an official title.
The officialness of it is, should she outlive Charles, that title goes away upon his death. So she is, the queen mistress. She's the queen consort. That's what queen consort means, is queen mistress.
I know.
You're not really the queen.
You don't have to explain to me what consort means. I know,
but I love the fact that like in the officialdom of Buckingham Palace, like that's what it means, is that like you're not officially the queen, but you're gonna do the duties of the queen, but we're not gonna like acknowledge you as royalty. But you're married to the guy who we're calling royalty. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just love it. Okay, anyway.
We can change it.
I'm going to draw your consort thing here real quick.
But I wanted to show you this quarter I got at work today. So normally on our quarters is a big deer with antlers. I don't know if you can see, this is a giant ship.
It looks like a person on a horse.
No, it's like a big old ship. And it's an anniversary of Samuel de Champlain discovering Canada. like the first person to land. He was French. So the quarter is commemorating 1604 to 2004.
Are you drawing the queen consort?
Yes, it's the consort.
The queen consort.
Oh, the consort.
That's awesome.
Consort. Okay. Okay. So what happens after we have an ink fight?
Yeah. Will Eisner gets involved.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, what happens after we have an ink fight? Will Eisner could get involved. It is Philo. These things can happen. I don't know. Do the Spaders come back? Is it too much silliness?
I think they should. I mean, they were involved somehow.
Well, I mean, Philo was found guilty and he did escape from Escher jail. So
they're gonna want to find him.
And then the Disney lawyers, don't forget, they also stole the Disney ship. And so Disney with a Z might want their ship back. But they're members of the buffet pirates now. And originally it was about getting the buffet back, but I don't know if their motivations have changed since joined the crew.
Well, now that our crew is part of the pirate crew and they're all a team together, wouldn't they be fleeing the Disney lawyers since they're on a stolen ship? All of them?
Rob says Steamboat Willie comes in with a cease and desist from the Escher Foundation.
Oh, I like that.
Okay,
excellent.
so do you want to do that then?
Yes. Oh wait, that would.
That's your panel.
Okay. So
that's your panel.
So this is actually going to be 5 now.
Yeah. So Steamboat Willie, and remember, it's Disney with the Z.
Yes, I know.
Yes. And I don't know. Do you remember?
You know what you could do is you could make Mickey Mouse white, but the gloves black. You know what I mean? Do a color opposite change.
Yeah.
Willie.
Gosh, I have my computer is bugging.
So what happens after Steamboat Willie brings the cease and desist for my panel?
Oh, that's you, right?
The fish lawyers loom behind him. I don't know. The Spaders show up on their special ship because they had a tracker on the pirate ship.
Oh wait.
Well,
so Amber, you're doing the Steamboat Willie one?
No, you're doing Steamboat Willie.
Okay, so I'm doing panel 5.
He's gonna do the Spader one, I guess.
Yeah, you're on panel 5.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
Yeah, you're doing Steamboat Willie comes in with a cease and desist from the Escher Foundation. So what happens after the cease and desist letter? Do we focus on the cease and desist letter?
Well, no, I think we got to work the Spaders in there somehow.
Okay, so if Steamboat Willie brings a cease and desist letter.
Yeah, and I know exactly how that's
okay.
But how did the Spaders get there? Did they track someone? Did they follow someone?
Well, maybe they just have to go to Spader Court.
Is somebody a double agent in the crew for the Spaders?
Well, that's just it. Is maybe we just jump ahead in the story and they're in Spader Court dealing with the cease and desist letter.
Yeah, we could do that. Jump ahead. That's no problem. They do that in Dungeon all the time.
Your last panel, Amber.
Yeah. Let me do my last panel. I got
maybe Spader Court is trying to arrest Ink now.
I don't know.
Great.
They've set their sights on someone different.
Let's see. I just realized I gotta make this legible.
Legibility.
There's chaos and all collapses down to the crash on the mushroom planet, with all of them waking up from a massive mushroom trip and their ship is repaired. That's what Rob says.
That's a good conclusion. We could save that for when we decide to actually end it.
Yeah.
That's a really good conclusion.
Spaders versus Disney lawyers. I still think that they should end up in Spader court. So, like, Steamboat Willie brings a cease and desist from the Escher Foundation, and so, like, I suppose what happens next would be they're back in Spader court, right?
Yes.
Oh, there's my translator. Letting
They
everyone
find
know.
themselves in court again.
They're back in Spader court again. Okay. Now I have to look up James Spader again. I mean, I guess there's worse things to have in your search history than James Spader. Could they sue Steamboat Willie?
Well, why would they? I thought Steamboat Willie was working for them too.
I thought Steamboat Willie was public domain now.
Yeah, he is, but they still, he's still Disney.
We'll do this. I always end up having to draw like backgrounds.
So did you guys hear that Netflix picked up the Muppet or Sesame Street?
Yes, I did. They say Big Bird.
Oh God. It seems kind of criminal for it to end.
Well,
I actually think they should end Sesame Street and they should do Elmo's Talk Not So Late Show in its place. Because I feel like today's Sesame Street fans are the adults that grew up with it, and most kids don't care about it at all.
Well, I think they care. The ones that care about it are the ones that parents are showing it to them, because
but
in the house I live in has 2 nephews and it rarely gets shown.
Yeah, see, that's the problem right there. I think it's just it's not resonating with the kids like it used to. It still resonates with the adults who grew up with it. But did you guys ever see that Elmo's Not So Late Show? It's awesome. It's so funny. But wait, I need to look at Willie.
They should also capitalize on the fact too, and I think this is probably where you got the idea, is the fact that Elmo reaches out to people innocuously and the whole world just crumbles.
Let's see. Let's do our thing, and then I guess I'm drawing Steamboat Willie too.
I saw a meme where Elmo had put his LinkedIn profile up.
Yes. Yes, he did. He did. He put his and he's like, he was like, oh, I'm looking forward to new opportunities. It's like, oh, Elmo. Oh.
And good at hugs.
Yes, I know, but your job history is a little spotty there, buddy.
Did I show you guys this? It was my take on the avian flu. Did you see that? I was gonna do a T-shirt, but it's pretty getting too.
Steamboat Willie.
Rob's got the background context for the cease and desist.
Yes. Yep, you can't get me if he has a Steamboat Willie hat.
Yep, that's what they're going.
You can't get me if he has a Steamboat Willie hat, Disney.
Why is that not drawing?
So Rob says that Disney wants to control agrarious youth. And the Escher Foundation is using the likeness of Steamboat Willie as a spokesmouse. Which is why the Disney lawyers are trying to sue Steamboat Willie. But really, they should be suing the Escher Foundation if they're using if it's the Escher Foundation using him as a spoke mouse.
Why can't I get anything to draw?
Maybe you need to close and reopen.
I can't do that. Okay, let me
Here, I'll put me in. I'll hide the fact that you're not drawing.
Yeah, that's it.
While putting me in the main window.
That sounds like.
I don't like bobas, but this Summer Skies has these really cool little raspberry things that are like bobas, I guess. They're quite enjoyable.
Well, boba is tapioca. If you're not a fan of tapioca, that makes sense.
No, I'm not. But these little jellies are cool.
Wow.
Did I tell you about my new favorite YouTube channel?
What's that one?
Dad Greg's Recipes?
No. Oh yeah. You said where they're making the recipes and it's like sometimes they're really good and sometimes they're like,
what the hell, Greg?
Yeah.
Well, he started accepting recipes from other people, so now he's got Dead Greg's Recipes and Dead Greg Friends Recipes.
Aww. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of recipes where it's like, what was grandma thinking, or what was my uncle thinking or whatever.
Right.
Or Mimi sure knew how to make some lemon squares. These things are the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my ex used to, her ex-wife used to collect old church cookbooks, and we'd always laugh.
Right.
Take one jar of mayonnaise.
Well, that's what it is. This dude, this dead uncle is an alcoholic. There was one recipe where the measurement was palm flour, palm of ricotta cheese.
Oh, wow.
And he's like emptying it out into his palm and throwing it in. He's like, this is so dumb.
See, I'm not even giving him gloves because he doesn't have gloves in the original.
Right.
And we're giving him little evil eyes.
Tasty fish eyes.
Give him little evil eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like tapioca. I don't think I like the texture or the taste. I'm not really into any of it. And whenever I go into my favorite place, I'm always like, yeah, I'll just take the milk tea. And they look at me like I'm crazy. But in China, that milk tea was everywhere and it was for free. So you get it all the time. And I just loved it. It's just sweet, sweet, sweet stuff. It's good.
There you go.
Okay, I'm back.
Your image is back.
Right, let's see if I can fill this thing up. Is it drawing? Yeah, there it goes. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just would not give me an ink line.
Yeah, sometimes, computers act up. Yeah, for whatever reason, I'm keeping Philo as Venom. Which means I should probably have, olive oil.
When I was walking to work today,
off of him.
On my quiet suburban street, there's this couple that has I think I told you already, a Shiba Inu. And I realized their other dog is an Akita. But then when I was passing them this morning on their morning walk, the husband or, I don't know, boyfriend or whatever, he had a giant sweatshirt that said, "We are Venom." And I was like, oh, wow. I did not expect to see that.
Are you now? Are you
Especially on a Japanese guy? I guess they're pretty Japanese-Canadian then.
Yeah. Well, there's a high Asian population in Canada.
Tell me more about it, Amber. I know nothing.
I did live there. It's not like, I'm telling you about it without experiencing it, but there is a high Asian population in Canada compared to the United States. When you talk about percentage wise, the percentage in America is much smaller than the percentage in Canada compared to whites, natives, blacks.
Probably because it's much easier to immigrate here.
It also had to do with the railroad. The construction of the
you
railroad.
got railroads too.
Yes,
you got more than we do.
Yes,
Yeah,
but the
once we got
construction
down
of the railroad in Canada treated them much better and gave them citizenship.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Citizenship, which the U.S. did not give them. And so
we put them in internment camps and made them build stuff for us. That's what we did.
And also made them live in tunnels in Moose Jaw, which I've seen.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the same tunnels that Al Capone used to smuggle whiskey and stuff out of Moose Jaw and into Minneapolis.
Moose Jaw's not on the border.
No, it's not in the border. No, but Moose Jaw has all these tunnels, and so the tunnels were built so that the boiler guys could go from one building to the other and light the boilers without having to go up to the street and back down. And so they had the Chinese people living in the tunnels. They were used for moonshining. They were used for like Al Capone used them. Like they would gather all the whiskey there, and then they would drive them to the border, hundreds of kilometers away. But that's where they like gathered them, so people wouldn't see the gathering of all the whiskey. It's in Moose Jaw. You could go. You visit the tunnels. Now I have to look them up.
I feel ick. Oh boy.
Let's see. Whiskey history Chinese. Tunnel vision, Mr. History. Yeah. See, this is from. I'm putting it in the chat. This is from Sask Today. Canada. Tunnels of Moose Jaw inspires film, an homage to Chinese culture. See. Here's another one. Here's another one from Sask. Today. And this one's also about the gangster Scarface and the Moose Jaw connection.
Okay, there's mine.
Yeah. All right. There. Yeah, but there's two articles about it. Oh no, I think I lost her. Oh, I lost your connection.
Who's mine?
No, I'm here.
Nope.
I was reading.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
I'm echoing on my two. That's the second one. There it is.
Yeah, it was interesting because like places like history like that, it's important to preserve places of history that aren't always the positive places of history, right? But the guy that we had who was like our guide was like really proud of it, and it's like okay, it's good to preserve this, but you're talking about people being forced to live underground because of their nationality.
Yeah.
You don't think none of that happened in San Francisco?
Oh, that definitely happened in San Francisco. Oh, no. This started out with me saying that, Canada had a high Asian population. Like they, they weren't.
Nobody was arguing with you.
Yeah.
The only argument I had was I don't believe that Al Capone was anywhere near Moose Jaw. That was my only argument.
And there's an article right there talking about
Scarface.
How he
That's
used
not Al Capone.
That is Al Capone. That was his nickname.
Let me read this article. Because the other one you gave me was all about the Chinese.
Yeah, it was all about the Chinese, but...
Including the possibility of Al Capone spending time there is the first sentence.
You didn't know Scarface was Al Capone?
No, I didn't. I forgot his nickname. Sorry.
Did you know that he died from syphilis?
I did know that, yes.
Did you know didn't he get put away for tax evasion?
He got put away
I've been to the FBI museum in Washington, D.C. I've seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he got put away for tax evasion, but he was a syphilitic idiot in like the last 10 years of his life because he let the syphilis get so bad it actually affected his brain. And so like he was doing things after he got out of jail, like fishing in his own swimming pool. Right? And like he had bodyguards and stuff because he's Al Capone, he's Scarface, right? And, and he was paying them and everything like that. And they just kind of like let him just fish in his own swimming pool, but.
Okay,
yeah.
So the article even says no one can prove that Capone himself visited the city. Even his grandniece is trying to find a connection and she cannot. But you are correct that they say it was a connection for rum running.
Again, the guide I had was super into it. and was like, and Al Capone was here and blah 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 and everything like that. So like I'm getting a lot of my information from the guy. So I'm sure he was exaggerating. But there was liquor running in those tunnels. He said it was Al Capone. That's where I was getting my information from.
And the article says that they originally were for engineers, those tunnels, and it was the Chinese themselves that decided to live down there.
That, to me, that sounds like when a British person takes a close look at something.
You're right.
Like, oh yeah, no, the Chinese decided to live there. Yeah, that's like how the Indians decided to go on the Trail of Tears. It was their decision. Right? Right? If you read the newspapers at the time, it was their decision. But it wasn't their decision. When you like literally have a bunch of like white people moving on to your land and saying, no, this isn't your land anymore. That's your land. Go. Like, there's no deciding in the matter. But yes. So you look like you are done, or are you shading?
I am done. I'm just
You're not even gonna shade for me?
It's 1930s style. How much texture was there in the 1930s cartoons? They look pretty flat to me.
My major accomplishment is MC Escher contract he came running in with. Isn't that nice?
Okay, I'm still working on panel 6, so I guess you're on panel 7.
All right.
And so what happens after they're back in Spader Court? Because that's what you need to figure out.
I was leaving it up to the good people at home.
The good people at home. Okay, so like, well, they're laying out their arguments. Wait. We already have it. We had Rob say it. Stairway door, second floor. Rob said he got to explore Al Capone's secret getaway suite. Disney wants to control egregious use, and the Escher Foundation is using the likeness as a spokesmouse. So that's what it is. That's their argument. Disney lawyers try to sue Steve Willie.
Oh, for breaching contract?
For egregious use of their license, I guess.
Okay, so let me see. Wait, what is it now? Is it here in the chat someplace? I can just...
It's in chat. Yeah, you can scroll back in chat.
Disney wants to control egregious use, and the Escher Foundation is using the likeness of the spokesman.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's in your panel? What's in your wallet?
So what's in my wallet is they're back in Spader Court.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like that drawing.
And so, really, because I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling any of my art right now.
Running in with a crazy contract. That's all I had.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the Disney lawyer wants.
So the Disney lawyers, by the way, are fish.
Okay, with mouse ears, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the Disney lawyers are fish with mouse ears.
Let me see if I can find that on your website here.
Gaping maws.
They kind of look like the fish from SpongeBob.
Oh, okay.
Only the fish from SpongeBob, I think, talk sideways, and these guys are like facing front, kind of.
I can't find it.
Oh, now I get to emphasize my Steamboat Willie.
Hey, this is a kid show.
Yeah, it's okay. He's public domain. You know, if they wanted to hold on to him, they should have lobbied more.
Right.
Wasn't there a cow on that boat too, or was it Goofy?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I got it. I think about a year ago for Christmas, and I wear it occasionally. But yes, it is definitely a mom shirt. And I guess it's a different Spader judge. The last Spader judge was wearing a big white wig. This one's a different one. This one's wearing, like, I don't know, like lawyer gear. We'll do that. Okay, and then Spader Court. probably spending way too much time on this panel. I don't know. It's Spader Court. Okay. All right. So now I am on panel 8. And I think I have enough time to do one more panel. I think I have enough time to do one more panel, which is about 9 minutes.
Okay, I got it. I got time too.
Yeah. All right. So I'll put yours in the center, and it looks like that was your sketch from the last one.
Yeah, it's. I'm getting rid of it as we speak. All right.
Spader Court? Yeah. Well, here's the thing, okay? James Spader plays a villain most of the time, but in Boston Legal, he was a good guy. So if it's an AI generated like Spader Court, would he'd be the lawyers and like the judges? He'd be everybody.
Where's William Shatner?
You know, William Shatner and James Spader hated each other on that show.
That's
like behind the scenes. I guess James Spader is a little OCD, and he would, like, if one little thing would go wrong, he would want to restart the scene and stuff. And I guess it just drove Shatner crazy. And Shatner was very much like, let's just kind of go and just record the lines that come out, and he would go off script all the time, which I guess drove, you know, Spader crazy, because he's like, no, let's stick to the script. The words are there for a reason, right? And so so a lot of their chemistry was them trying to outact each other on the show, right? Because they hated each other. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna outact this guy, which I just think's awesome. So okay, so Disney wants to control egregious use of the Escher Foundation using Steamboat Willie as a spokesman. Then what happens? So they're making their arguments in Spader Court. So I got very little time to draw another panel. We got to decide what I'm drawing. What happens? They lay out their arguments. Is that it? Philo's still a Venom. I mean,
yeah, we haven't seen Philo in this thing at all.
No, I mean he's there. I drew him in the last panel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Philo's still a Venom. Should we just do Philo's called to the stand. There. And so that way we can do a focus on Philo. And it'll give us a good jumping off point for next panel, for next comic. So you have had a couple of commission builds for puppets lately.
Yeah, I have a couple more that are in the works, so that'll be good.
I know Super Pig was one of them.
Oh, Wonder Pig, yeah.
Wonder Pig.
What else did I do? I did Benjamin Franklin. That was another one I did. Which is actually going to be in a Wisconsin. It's going to be a play in July. Pretty exciting.
Is Godzilla in your apartment right now?
No, Godzilla just was. There's actually a TikTok of it running around now of Godzilla at the Long Beach City College concert, rampaging across the stage as the music plays. It's great. Check it out.
And that was like what, like a $40 bill?
Pretty much. No, it was $400, and it's.
But that was material and labor and everything.
Yeah, that was everything. Yeah, it was about $50 for the materials. I was super cheap on the build, but It turned out really good. I mean, I was really happy with it.
What's been your favorite one to build?
Of all the missions, or just in general?
In general.
I really enjoyed building Zoidberg. That was a lot of fun for me.
Was that a commission?
No, it's just me building it.
Yeah, because you said you were going to sell it later, so I didn't know if maybe somebody had welched on it.
No, nobody bought it yet, but it's it's just one of those things I wanted to build, and that was
Well, you had the inspiration of the finger.
Something I think I'm going to do this week. I've been thinking about this. Is a lot of people ask me if I was going to do every character from Futurama, which I'm not.
Yeah.
But it got me thinking about the Simpsons jaw, the Groening jaw.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to do a pattern. I'm going to create the pattern and just have like that type of jaw, just that part of the head.
Two very important questions. First is, Steve, are you accepting puppet commissions? Not immediate.
Yes.
And second, is Zoidberg for sale? Which I know the answer is yes.
It is, but it's not up there right now. You'd have to just email me about it. I have a price of $1,400 on them right now, but if it's a reasonable amount, I might take that as well. So.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of labor into it because you were designing the.
Yeah, it's about 100 hours of labor on each one of these guys. So that's why they get so expensive. But it's kind of one of those things like I get
contact info.
My contact information. You can get a hold of me at Melonpool, MELONPOOL @gmail.com. That's one place. So you can look me up on Facebook. Those are probably the two easiest ways. Or you can look up Puppet Troop on YouTube, and I have a lot of that stuff. The building process videos and stuff there.
See, I'll put that in there.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Steve was the one who built Sebastian. And,
right.
And so, which I'm super happy with.
And that's funny because, I was really hesitant to do a lot of builds, and that got me kind of doing it. So that's good. It's kind of the thing I do now is a lot of those in progress build things.
Well, I gave you some old pictures of the old Sebastian,
mm-hmm.
and then I gave you drawings,
right.
And really not that much to go off of. And aside from the placement of the eyes, which I totally get because the drawings, I put the eyes on top. Aside from the placement of the eyes, you nailed it, right? And
right.
I changed the placement of the eyes. And I was so nervous about it, but I don't think I did a terrible job.
You're a good builder too, though. You've done some. It's you know your way around it. You don't. It's different than somebody who doesn't know how the placement's supposed to be. There's an art. There's an art to it.
Well, I will admit that I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from Gordon.
Oh yeah.
I learned a lot from when I worked at O Entertainment because we built the costumes and the puppets there. And
I use that joke that you told me from O Entertainment so often. You know what joke I'm talking about?
I don't remember. I told you a lot of jokes.
What did one poor person say to the other poor person?
Who cares?
Who cares? What for? I love that.
What did one poor person say
to the other poor person? Who cares? They're poor.
Yeah. Who cares? They're poor. Yeah. That's from Bat Thumb.
Yeah. Or was it was it from that or was it from Titanic?
It might be from Titanic. It might be from Thumbtanic. It might be from Bat Thumb. I think it's from Bat Thumb because I think it's from the like dance that No Face invades.
Oh, okay.
But it could be from Thumbtanic when they're showing all the rich people. You know, it's just, I don't know. All those movies kind of run together for me because I worked on them all at the same time. But yeah, Rob says he worked on TV. That's where he and I met. Where we were working on, puppets together.
Cool.
And so he knows Gordon too.
Great. Yeah, he's great. I've known Gordon forever.
You were so intimidated about talking to him, though.
Well, I didn't want to steal his business. I didn't,
You weren't stealing his business. He literally gave it to you. He said, I was too busy to do this. And I said, okay, I'm going to go find another puppet builder. And he went, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
And then I'm like, yeah, you can contact Gordon about the original puppet. And you're like, I don't want to contact him. I don't want to bug him. And it's like, he gave you the business. I just think that you were just not intimidated, but like Gordon is in the puppet circles very well known, and
I beg your pardon. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't say you weren't well known either. You are well known too. Puppet Troupe has its acolytes. But yeah, and I think that you just, you didn't want to overstep.
Right, that's basically it. You just never want to.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I gave him the heads up that you were contacting him and being like, yeah, he took over Sebastian. The build is okay if he contacts you. And he's like, yeah, he's fine. And then I find out that you guys talk for 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
And you were so scared about talking to him, and then you end up talking shop for 4 hours.
Of course, it was great.
Yeah. Why did you guys talk mechanisms and stuff?
Maybe we just talked about you. No shit. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
No. Yeah. Sure. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure I came up at least once in conversation. So what was it like to date her? She's insane.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it was actually, I don't remember what we talked about, but I had built that I had modified that pattern before, but I never actually built it straight. So he had some tips and stuff about how to make it work. So
yeah, the only changes I think I'm gonna make to Sebastian still are going to be to the hands, because the way that the hands are now, they seem very kind of like they talk to you like this, and I want him to be able to rotate a little bit more. And so what I find is, instead of putting it in the palm like you have it, is I'm going to stick the wire down the pinky. And so that will give me more of a rotation in the wrist.
Right. Again, it's always I had done a bunch of dogs where they were set up like this, kind of like a real dog, and you couldn't do anything with them. So that I kind of got in the habit of doing it that way because it seemed to work better for me as a puppeteer. But I should have asked you about that.
Oh no, it's okay. Again, I know enough about building that I feel confident enough to tear apart the hands to kind of do it, but I just haven't. Right now he has a bag over him to prevent him from getting dusty.
Gotcha.
So it's like the telltale heart. It's like the telltale puppet. I can feel him in my brain, like knocking away, going, how come I'm under a plastic bag? I can't breathe under here. Make me come alive. Which I know you, as a creative person, will appreciate and understand.
Right.
Which,
I used to know a lot of cartoonists, and you weren't one of them, that I felt like they were their characters lived in their second bedroom, and Yeah.
It's definitely, yeah. There's you come to terms with the fact that you have conversations with yourself.
Right.
You know, and you don't know exactly where the conversations are coming from.
Yeah.
You just realize that you're just kind of having a conversation with yourself, and then you write it down. And that's the trick between being crazy and being creative, is writing it down.
Yeah. My my ex and I used to always have this thing we called blueberry or what was it? Blackberry or Fruity Pebbles or something like that. Or Fruit Loops. It was something like that where we try and identify if somebody was talking on their Blackberry or if they were just talking to themselves.
Blackberry or Fruit Loops?
Something like that, yeah. All right, I finished this panel.
Yay! Okay,
look at that.
I'm gonna call this one done as well. Of him, point of order. I love that, by the way, of him with the little like glasses. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go because I'm running out of power and it's getting late.
Okay. Yes, we went a little long. Good night, Miss Robin. I am saying good night anyway, so we will say good night. And
thank you for coming on the show, Steve.
Oh, yes. Of course. I'm sure I'll be back.
Yes, I shall close your screen, Miss Robin. And
I'll come back to each chapter at least once, I'm sure, or whatever. So.
And this is where we left off. As Philo is called to the stand, and he's still Venom. I don't have olive oil in this panel. Maybe I should draw her in this panel too. I don't know, but she's like part of him. And
I say for the next one, you swing over to the juries and it's all made up of olive oil.
Well, yeah, but maybe the tentacle olive oils. I don't know. We'll see what comes up.
All right. Cool.
But yes, let me turn off the arts and thank you. Hi, baby girl. That's my daughter. And
you got real small. I can't see anything.
Yes.
What she got.
Oh, she's showing me what she has, which is a little thing.
She's got a little bat.
She has a little bat that she's sharing with me. So yes, so let me do this. Thank you very much, Steve, for joining me.
Thank you.
And I will have you again in the future, and we will again art, and Zoidberg's available. If you guys are curious about puppets and you want a puppet built, this is the guy to do it. Like, he's built more than Zoidberg. Yeah. Like, he's got a whole room of puppets in front of him. And Zoidberg is just awesome because he's got you got the graining, like, stare down. That's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. I love him. Okay, I will see you guys later, Zoidberg and Steve. And then everybody out there in Philo Land, thank you very much for joining me. I want to thank a proud member of the web creative community for, being great and everything. So I have that right there. And then this is produced by me, panelpanel.com's our website, Captain T. I'm working on, again, patreon.com if you want to support me, Twitch TV. You might be watching youtube.com. You might be watching. If you are watching Twitch, we are going to raid a channel right now. We are going to raid someone that we follow. Let's see. Who do we follow? We follow Dragon Fae Library. And we're going to raid Dragon Fae Library. And so, I will see you guys in the future. Have a good one.